excluded those people from solitary confinement, from conditions that kept them alone or with one other person for 22, 23, 24 hours a day for days, weeks, months, and even years on end. This was a bill that was founded on science. And it's a bill that was rejected because of an ignorance of facts. The governor can stand up and say we don't have solitary confinement in New Jersey. He can launch ad hominem attacks against Senator Lesniak and those of us that support this legislation, but it doesn't change the reality that there are more than 1,000 people in New Jersey prisons, in New Jersey jails, who suffer under those conditions. So facts still matter. Science still matters. And this law will become a law. We will see it through.
Senator Lesniak, would you like to say a few words on behalf of the coalition or on behalf of your commitments to this issue?
Yes. Well, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. And I would add, Alex, I would add one thing to science and facts. Common sense. Yes. Common sense, because our goal, the culture of corrections must be changed so that the goal of corrections is that when a prisoner enters into prison and when he gets out, he's a better person when he gets out than he went in. And if someone enters prison, and by the way, I have been behind this wall. I started as a legal services attorney representing inmates. So my passion started long ago, and I recognize that our goal needs to be to improve the quality of life of a prisoner so that when they come out, they'll be productive and law-abiding citizens of this state. And that's common sense. That's what we all want. Do we want somebody to come into prison to be broken, to suffer mental illness, to be bitter, and to be angry? That's what solitary confinement does. It makes no common sense. So I will guarantee you one thing, and as you know, my commitment to criminal justice reform goes well beyond this issue. It goes to eliminating, reducing the mass incarceration. New Jersey has been a leader in cutting out mass incarceration under my legislation. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. And let me, if I may, please indulge me one more minute, because I want to tell you a story. And by the way, I also abolished the death penalty in the state of New Jersey. Something I'm most proud of. We're reaching our 10th anniversary in December for abolishing the death penalty. But I want to go a little bit afield, but it's connected. It certainly is connected to our goal to help people who have troubles in their life, to help them stay out of prison. So it was now 6 years ago, 2:30 in the morning at my home in Elizabeth, where I woke up to have two guys standing over my bed, Antoine Neal and Bernard Kinney. First words I heard were from Antoine Neal. He said, "Shoot him." And then Bernard Kinney said something that has lasted with me to this very day. He said, "Stay cool, we're not going to hurt you. We're good people. We're just in a bad place right now." Now, Reverend, he didn't say we're not bad people. He said we're good people. We're just in a bad place. They were strung out on crack cocaine. They needed another fix. They took my money and did not harm me. They got caught within a few days. And then I went and I testified on their behalf to get them the treatment they needed, and instead of going to prison, to be in the same condition when they came out. So that has to be our goal. Our goal, not only science, not only facts, but common sense to stop the scourge of mass incarceration and the damage that's done with incarceration. When a person goes into prison, it's not just that person's life who is affected. It's his whole family. And it's not just that family that's affected, it's the whole neighborhood. And that's why we have poverty conditions in this country, because we are not helping folks who need help. We're harming them by putting them in prison when they don't have to be in prison, and by putting them in solitary confinement. I'll guarantee you one thing: if I'm your next governor, if we don't have this overturned before then, I'll be the first person to sign it. Thank you very much. God bless you all. I had to get that promotion in there. Thank you.
You should. And you should know, Senator Lesniak is running for governor of the state. We need new leadership here. So thank you. Also running for governor in our state is Seth Copperdale on the Green Party. I was hoping that you could say, not against, together. The same issues, the same answers. All right. Seth, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Senator Lesniak, I hope you get very far in this campaign and that we can be continuing together through the whole process. To be honest, you're a role model for me and my desire to be in politics in this state. You know, a few years ago, Adrian Peterson, the excellent running back, superstar NFL player, got in a lot of trouble for hitting his kid with a switch. And the whole nation went just ballistic against Adrian Peterson for abusing his child. And Adrian's response was, but I'm just doing the type of correction that I was brought up on. And we said, okay, we hear that, Adrian, but that's not acceptable. There's a time when things change. We recognize that certain forms of discipline are completely inappropriate, and they actually work against making the change that one wants to see. So no, Adrian, that's not acceptable. Here in this state, we have known for a long time that solitary confinement does only harm. It does no good. It does not help change a person. All the things that have already been said. I won't repeat that. But that's what's going on. We have this continued abuse going on, and instead of us saying no more, somehow the state has been saying, no, this is what we have for a form of discipline. Our system's this way. We don't have enough money to try something different. This is the best way we can keep our officers safe. I am so proud of this group, NJ Cake, Senator Lesniak, and everyone here who has said over the last few years, that is an unacceptable response. We can do better. We can end this kind of abusive behavior. So just like we said, no, Adrian, that's not acceptable. We need to say continually, no, New Jersey, this isn't acceptable. To watch the Senate and the Assembly so quickly move this bill through with Senator Lesniak and Assemblywoman Pinkins' guidance, that was a breath of fresh air. And to get this to the governor's desk and to have him completely veto it and slam it with an absolutely obnoxious statement aimed at Senator Lesniak and not at all acknowledging the pain of the people inside was just the nail in the coffin for that governor in terms of, I couldn't believe that was the way he responded to this legislation. If I become your governor, what I can tell you is that not only will I sign this bill with great rejoicing, but the accompanying statement to signing the bill will be a very lengthy apology where I name by name, first name only, every single person who's been in solitary confinement in this state for as long back as we have records to indicate that. If it takes 10 hours, that's what the accompanying statement will be, because apology is the only thing fitting in response to what we've been doing, and celebration will be the only thing fitting for the direction that we're going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Lesniak. I appreciate you joining us. Yeah, that's next. Okay, Reverend Copperdale just mentioned the acknowledging and listening to the pain and the failure of this administration to listen to the pain of those who have been inside. And what I would like to do now is invite 3 people forward who are going to be testifying to their experience, both maybe in this prison and other prisons around the state. And particularly, I'd like to invite Lydia, Luis, and Marshall. Are you all 3 here? Hey, and Luis, welcome. Okay, so Luis, do you want to kick us off and just talk to us a little bit about what's true?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Luis. I was released from confinement after 25 years, 6 months, and 2 days, 12 of which I spent here at New Jersey State Prison. I can tell you solitary confinement does exist. I was there for about 8 months of that time, on and off on different times. One thing about solitary confinement, well, what New Jersey calls solitary confinement is administrative segregation. So it's not, for them, maybe that's what the governor meant. Maybe for them it's not solitary confinement, but it's administrative segregation, which means it's a jail within the prison. Okay, now, for every charge that you get, you can spend up to 1 year in ASEG, what we call ASEG in there. But let's say if you get 3 charges, that means you can have 3 years, 1 year per charge consecutively. And let's just happen, if one of those charges just happen to be recreation related, while you're in ASEG, in solitary confinement, you also would not receive recreation. You could also have loss of recreation while you're in confinement. We have had guys there that I know. I trained as a paralegal. I was a paralegal in here, and the reason, what motivated me to be a paralegal in here was the treatment of the special needs population. They were giving these guys charges and then sending them to ASEG. As soon as they came out of ASEG, a day later, they'll receive another charge, and then they will go right back to ASEG. Now, you're saying this man is special needs.